Кариера.мк. Вистинската работа за тебе.
Hello everyone and thank you for joining us. A few moments ago we just concluded today's HR and leadership event. Together with me are Gonçalo Sequeira and Yardena Krongold, our two inspiring speakers. And we talked about culture, leadership, engagement, talent. And I had an amazing time. You both are amazing and very professional. The people really liked your presentation and your energy. I would like to start with my first question. What do you think about the HR community here in North Macedonia? Do you like the people? What can you say about us as HR community?
Sure. Thank you, Rosa. First of all, I'd like to thank you for this invitation. It was amazing, to be with you guys and the group and feel the energy. And as I was not only talking during the workshop, but also sharing with people, during lunch and everything, I really appreciate that the HR community here is a very open community, and people are very welcoming, and they are very close. And what I have a sense is a very high level of commitment, of engagement, and a community that's really looking how to grow, And that's, I think, the most important part, because when we stop growing and when we stop learning, then there are no possibilities to become better and to help other people. And I think that's one of the most important roles of human resources within not only companies, but within a country, to help people grow. So I was very glad to hear that. When we were having lunch also, I talked to some of you guys, and they say, when I asked them, what do you enjoy the most, of your country, and what are you proud of? And they all say, people, because we really are solidary people. We really are people who care for each other and are there for each other and are open. So, wow, that's an amazing news in a world so sometimes individualistic, Yeah.
Gonçalo, anything to add?
Not much to add, because I think your answer was perfect. So I subscribe 100%. Just saying to Rosia, that was really nice to have this invitation. And I think since the beginning we were discussing the event, I started to feel that this was a different community. And being here today, engaging with the people, I subscribe to what you said, because people are very open. They want to learn. They want to take the most out of you, which is really nice, because like I shared, the more you ask, the more you receive. And I think this community, these people that you gather here today, were very engaging, very interested as well, and very open to share the pains and the struggles they are facing. And I think we hopefully did a good job to help them.
Amazing. Yeah. If you could give one piece of advice to the HR people from this region, what would it be?
Yeah, I think continue to be the same, and with these spirits that we just spoke, because I know this sounds not a lot, but like Yardena mentioned, I think not everyone is going on this direction nowadays. I think people are started to be more individualistic and less community driven, and I think the community that you gather here, people talking with each other on the tables, mingling with others, is something that looks small, but I think in the long term will create a great impact, because everyone says that your network is your net worth. And I think if the community continues that way, they can gain a lot with each other.
So how do you see HR evolving in the few years? Like, how can companies prepare for the future of HR?
Yeah, that's a great question and a very important one, because I will build on what you said, Gonçalo. And we are facing really interesting and challenging times, and HR is changing because we are changing. The world is changing. And we need to remember that, we need, what I would say are three main aspects. One, AI. because we'll have new human resources departments that are sharing AI and having new ways of working, and also leading and helping companies where people is working with AI, and we are seeing a lot of changes because of that. Two, there will be a focus not on job descriptions and roles, but on skills, and that's important. And today we worked on discover talents, unique talents, and that's key, because will evolve to companies where job descriptions or roles will somehow disappear, but they will be less strict, less rigid. Will be focusing on skills. What kind of skills? Because we can get talent from everywhere. So we can get talent, the best talent, all around the world. So companies will start looking for talent instead, as I shared with the Google example, that they shared, for those who are watching us, they shared the algorithm, a very difficult algorithm, on the streets, and that's the way they used to select candidates. So we're gonna go outside to the market, not only the local or national market, but also the international market. So this is going to change a lot of the challenges that HR is facing. And probably the third one is the employee experience. Employee experience will be part of the KPIs within the company, well-being, culture. If we're really having a balanced experience, as employees, so that's going to be part of how we measure company success. Because people is trying to be part of companies that are really not only looking at them as an employee or as a piece of something, but as a person. So if we really want to thrive as companies and as HR departments, we want to focus on that, I would say. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, just saying that I agree 100% with you, Yardena. It's just something that I will add on it. It's like the relationships that you should and can create, because that's basically what AI is not doing yet. It's to create trust and relationships with people. It's still something that a person can do, but AI cannot. And I think the amounts and the quality of the relationships you have are what will be a differentiating point of hiring someone or another person. So I think HR as a whole has the responsibility of maintaining those relationships, but also incentivize people to creating them. Because in the future, I really believe that the people that you know and the trust they have with you will be the differentiator factor why a person will hire you or not hire you. Instead, on your career path, on your CV, like you were saying, that it's useless right now because there is other proofs and people can evaluate skills, but also the relationships, I think, will be a must-have in terms of hiring the future. And just adding something as well, we are afraid of the changing what AI will bring, but if we see the history of the world, change, it's normal. It's what is always happening. And we had the dot-com bubble in the 2000s, and now we are having the AI era. So I think if we look to these in an exciting way, that will help us. So nowadays I'm doing way less tasks that I didn't like comparing with a few years ago. And so I think AI, it's a good thing, and if people really embrace AI, they will strive. The ones that are scared about AI, they might lose something exactly because they are scared.
I agree. In your session, Gonçalo, you mentioned about PAV, position, visibility, authority.
And visibility.
Okay. So which part of the PAV companies usually struggle with, and why?
That really depends on the stage of the company, but especially young companies or small companies, they struggle a lot with positioning themselves because usually they want to please everyone. And when you want to please everyone, you ending up not pleasing anyone in particular. So I think most business has a lot of problems in terms of positioning on social media, and that's why I talk a lot about the positioning itself, because if you figure out that first, after that is easy to create your authority about the topic, and last but not the least, the visibility that will get you leads, that will get you customers.
Okay. So I have one more question that I would like to get your answer. I mean, there are companies that are, if I may say, on low budget. So, what strategy would you recommend for those companies if they want to raise their branding, let's say on LinkedIn or their marketing?
Yeah. One thing that I think everyone knows, it's like posting on LinkedIn is free, on Instagram, on Facebook, all of that. So I would say that even with organic strategies, maybe you don't go as fast as further as other companies with bigger budgets, but you can still do a lot of things on social media that are completely free, or with a very low budget they can get a really big impact. So for example, if you don't have a lot of budgets, maybe you can post more regularly and more consistently, and that's
To
still
grow,
free to grow in the beginning. So there is a lot of companies that do ad spend. For example, we don't do ad spend because we still believe organically we can still grow on that. And what a lot of companies struggle with, it's even with low budget, they started to think, I will pay for ads on this platform because then I will go faster. But if you do the basics correctly, that will cost you less money, and you also learn by the mistakes that you do, what work and what doesn't work.
Thank you. So, Yardena, you mentioned you shared a few HR global practices. So, my question would be, can you share one success story where a company transformed employee engagement through a simple but effective way?
Yeah, sure. There are many examples, and one best practice. This company had a very important issue with engagement, and culture was really losing power with people. So they decided to change all the performance reviews to growth conversation. So instead of following a traditional performance review model, where the manager provides feedback and, you did this good, but you have these lacks and you have to work on these lacks, the conversation is completely different. It turns out to be a talk where the people will discover, the employee or the executive will discover where he can perform best or better, and where he can he's got a talent, and he can also leverage that talent to help his team, her team, to perform better. So it becomes a safe space to discuss exactly my lacks, my talents. What do I expect also from the company? What can I bring to the table? So the conversation is completely different. So what they experience is that they not only increased engagement, but also they increase their portfolio as people were discovering new ways of adding value to the company. So different departments were really able to speed up the results. So it's amazing because it's not only an HR practice, but it's a practice that will impact business results finally.
You emphasize the difference between engagement and connection.
Yeah.
How can leaders build connection with their employees, let's say on a daily basis?
Oh, that's a beautiful question, and I love it because you talk about relations. So it's a relation. It's a relationship. I mean, it's not a business. Back in the days, we used to say, "Well, business is business." No, business is not business. Business is relationship. Business are relationship. If we can build these relationships and we can nurture them, it's like with your kids. You want to be there for them. You want them to know that you care for them. You want them to listen to them, to know what their needs are, and to help them grow, to help them develop their skills. It's kind of the same. I'm not going to solve you, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to help you. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to give you the tools so that you will grow. So it's a relationship. And I was talking to someone also during the break, and she said, the problem here is that sometimes people don't understand the leaders, because the leaders don't have the time, because there are so much things to be done that we don't have the time to really share the vision and share the goals and share the expectations and everything that we want to share with our team. So it's important to take time. We didn't have time really to go deeper, but for instance, there are some practices, the 1 minute practice, for instance. So you really want to take 1 minute before making a decision, okay? Or you really want to meet with your team 5 minutes before a great meeting to understand where they are, if they're feeling good, if they're okay, if there are any concerns. And it sounds absurd. It sounds like we don't have 5 minutes. Yes, we do have 5 minutes to build
We can
this
find 5
relationship.
minutes
That
to
creates,
build.
yeah,
Of
and
course.
that creates connection. That
Yeah.
is where connection is born.
I would like to thank you both, to wish you nothing but success in the future. I will invite you. You can come whenever you want here in Macedonia. You can be my guests. It was a real pleasure to work with both of you. And that would be it from my side. Anything you would like to add?
Well,
For
thank
the-
you. It was an amazing experience. This is my first time in the country, and I'm so happy to be here, because you have a great energy and a great future. And someone was saying to me, Yardena, there are countries that we will like to emulate, and not only to take as a role model, but also to build our own story and to grow by our own, and that's beautiful, so thank you very much. And sharing the stage with you, Gonçalo, it was great, so thank you.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
100% likewise. I think it was very nice, all the organization, and I think went very smooth. And I think the community, it's growing a lot, and I hope to see it in a couple of years even bigger and even stronger. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy. Well, I'll be happy to be here with you again.
You're really
Yes,
invited.
yes.
We want to come back.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Кариера.мк. Вистинската работа за тебе.